Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to the Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. There's been a lot going on with the roster cuts. Now, I originally planned my show accordingly to how the Dallas Cowboys currently have their roster constructed, but the way they constructed it at the moment isn't 100% what it was going into today. So what the roster was yesterday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, that isn't the roster they have currently right now. So I had a couple of names that I was excited to see to make the team, but it seems as of today, they did not make the team. And I have those players on my list as of right now. But let's go ahead and get to the full roster for the Dallas Cowboys. This is by Mr. Nick Harris. He gives us a good breakdown of the roster. Of course, we have our quarterbacks. They are only carrying 2 quarterbacks this year outside of 3 quarterbacks like Mike McCarthy and the crew did last year. So we only have 2 quarterbacks. Those are Dak Prescott and Joe Milton. Our running backs are Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, and Hunter Luepke. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert, Kavontae Turpin, and Ryan Flournoy. As I'm sitting here reading this, I'm not going to go by every name, but we're going to get to some like my key surprises that are on the roster. First, he is going to be at the wide receiver position, Mr. Ryan Flournoy. He is a guy who I've been advocating for to make the team. I thought he should have made the team last year. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was on the practice squad last year, but I did see a tweet where he was actually on the roster. I don't know. But I thought he should have had a more focal role last year on the team because he really impressed me in preseason and what I saw in training camp. So this year he actually got the nod over Jalen Brooks. Jalen Brooks was on the roster last year. So it is good for the Cowboys to finally come to their senses and finally give a player deservingly like Ryan Flournoy the number 1, not the number 1, but the number 5 wide receiver spot. It seemed that Trayshawn Holden and I want to say it was Jalen Brooks were the 2 wide receivers who were behind Flournoy. Specifically, Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flournoy were duking it out for the number 5 spot per Brian Schottenheimer. So he's the one name that was great to see make the list. Another name, we're going to go down here, Mr. James Houston, getting the defensive edge end nod at his respective position. He is a name that I did highlight in our last show when I was talking about players that I wanted to make the roster that, knowing how the Cowboys are and their bias, there was a good chance that he probably wasn't going to make the roster. So it is good to see James Houston made the team because how he was playing, the way he was rushing the passer and wreaking havoc. I know from what Brian Schottenheimer and people have said in the media that he was doing this in practice as well and training camp. And we saw it on full display this past Friday night against the Atlanta Falcons. Just James Houston, he was just everywhere. He was making plays all over the field. And he was a big name for me that I was like, this guy has to make the team. Because you see the names right here. Micah Parsons was automatically on the team. Dante Fowler was automatically on the team. Marshawn Nealon was automatically on the team. And Donovan Ezaraku. So then you had like Sam Williams. Obviously, he's another guy you're going to want to make the team as well. Former second-round pick. So James Houston was literally fighting with the Tyrus Wheats and some other guys who were sitting there like, okay, is he going to make the team? Because the way the roster was constructed, it really much depended on how many defensive tackles are Dallas going to take and how many defensive ends are they going to take. So that was how they was weighing out the roster and how it was just very questionable if James Houston was going to get the nod on the roster, but he ended up getting the nod, and it was great to see. Moving down to another name, right to the defensive tackles, Mr. Perrion Winfrey. This guy, I can say right now, he's more than likely going to be our second best defensive tackle. And this is a guy who was in the UFL, just like our kicker was. Jesus, I am got a brain fart right now. What in the world? Brandon Aubrey. Do not know why I'm forgetting our phenomenal best kicker in the league right now. Jesus, I don't know why I forgot his name. And Kavontae Turpin. Those two guys were in the UFL as well. Perrion Winfrey was another project in the UFL that the Dallas Cowboys picked up. And right now, he is arguably our second best defensive tackle. I don't know how good Solomon Thomas is going to be. He's very up in age. I don't know how well he's going to play in, that position as old as he is. He's better than Mozzie, and he's definitely better. He's definitely better than Mozzie and Jay Toya from what I saw in preseason and in practice. So it is good to finally see Dallas Cowboys again put their ego to the side, because I would have been very upset if they would have kept Mozzie Smith and ditched Perrion Winfrey, because we did see yesterday there was a whole lot of big ruckus going around surrounding Perrion Winfrey, because Calvin Watkins originally reported that Perrion Winfrey had gotten cut. So Dallas, me, myself, Dallas, all the Dallas fans everywhere, we were all up in a ruckus. We were like, how in the world did he get cut? Blah, 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 blah. But, it was a false alarm by Calvin Watkins, a guy from 105.3 The Fan, text a couple of his guys who are, keyed into this stuff in the Dallas media and work and have connections inside the Dallas Cowboys building. They gave him the information and said, look, he's not been cut yet, and he actually made the roster. So good for Perrion Winfrey. Another guy, he is not on the list. He was at the cornerback position, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later in this segment. But Zion Childress was part of this list at the cornerback position when I originally wrote my show down. And then we had picked up two cornerbacks from the waiver wire, and they took the spot over Zion Childress and Andrew Booth. I'll get to that a little bit later, and we'll discuss that. And rounding it out at the safety position, very shocked another guy, Israel Mukuamu, didn't make the team, and they went with four safeties. Wanye Thomas ended up getting the third nod because we knew Donovan Wilson, Marquez Bell, and Malik Hooker were going to get the number one spots. So, rounding that up, ladies and gentlemen, let's fix the mic here. I'm tired of the mic just being on me. I want to be able to move freely here. All right. So, let's get to the money. What do I think overall? I was really excited and happy and pretty much satisfied when I first originally got the list that I had saw. Because I have my big four names here. James Houston, Perrion Winfrey, Ryan Flournoy. Phil Mafah is another guy who I didn't highlight who made a team, but he ended up getting switched for Goodwin, and he got switched out for CJ Goodwin and the offensive tackle Hakeem Adeniji. So Phil Mafah and then Zion Childress. I was happy for all of these guys to make the team. They deserve to make the team, rightfully so. And they were key pieces and key stones in the preseason who were really sticking out to me and looked like they deserve to be part of this Dallas Cowboys team. But I have to get to the big name for me, who really just, everybody and most people had them on their mock to make the team, but he didn't. And as of right now, the Cowboys did not sign him back to the practice squad, and he is currently a free agent. And his name is Israel Mukuamu from the safety position. I've enjoyed Israel Mukuamu ever since we drafted him. He's always stuck out to me in the games when he was in preseason, training camp, parts of the regular season when he did play. Obviously, he had a more vital role on special teams, but I really didn't pay attention to him on special teams. I'm just speaking about him on the field. Every time I turned around, he was out making plays. And I really thought that he was a surefire nod to make the team, especially when you got these two guys, which I know the Dallas Cowboys are going to have some sort of bias for these guys because they are already got contracts and signed. Donovan Wilson, I don't know if he signed a 1 or 2 year deal, but I know specifically that Marquez Bell did sign a 3-year deal. But you cannot look at me with a straight face and tell me right now that Marquez Bell and Donovan Wilson are better at the safety position than Israel Mukuamu. You just can't show me. Even Marquez Bell. Marquez Bell played the first couple games in the preseason. He did not play Friday against the Atlanta Falcons. When Marquez Bell was on the field, he was absolute burnt toast. I even posted this on my Twitter. I was sitting here like, what is the love affair with the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to Donovan Wilson and Marquez Bell? Marquez Bell, I cannot quite remember. I think he's an HBCU guy. I think he went to, was it the Florida school? I cannot quite remember. I think it might be Florida A&U and something, Florida A&M, something like that. Florida Atlantic University, I think that's what. Is it Florida Atlantic University? I don't know. It's the HBCU university, if I'm not 100% correct. But I've never understood the love affair that they have for this player, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. He just does not play well. There was a stint where Dan Quinn was using him in a linebacker position, undersized, too undersized to play the linebacker position. He does not cover well. He hits pretty good. But at the safety position, it's more than just being able to hit somebody. You got to be able to cover. And Israel Mukuamu was that guy. He was tall, he was long, he was lanky. So I thought he was going to be a surefire player to get that spot. And that did not seem to be the case for the Dallas Cowboys. Another name that I've been in love with for the past couple of years as well has been Juanyeh Thomas out of Georgia Tech. I've really enjoyed him as well. Him and Israel Mukuamu for the past 2 or 3 years have been my bright spots for players who should have been on the up and coming. Just because Malik Hooker is very up in age. Donovan Wilson cannot cover my grandma if he could. Same thing goes for Marquez Bell. So I really thought that Israel Mukuamu and Juanyeh Thomas was going to take that leap because I think Malik Hooker is the best safety you got, but that's not saying much. But they cut him, and they did not bring him back to the practice squad, shockingly. So that is a big name for me who didn't even make the team. Got released off waivers. Nobody picked him up. And the Dallas Cowboys didn't even sign him back to the practice squad. So that is just something that I will never get right with me for the rest of the year. It will never sit right with me that Israel Mukuamu is not part of the Dallas Cowboys. And even as of now, I don't know if it's just because somebody is seeing something that I haven't seen. At the present moment, it seems that Israel Mukuamu has still not found a home anywhere, and he has not been signed. So hopefully Israel Mukuamu gets signed. He absolutely deserves it. I think he's a phenomenal player, and he absolutely deserves to get picked up by somebody at some point. So Israel Mukuamu is a big one for me. Another guy that you could throw in there who should be on the roster right now over somebody else is Phil Mafah. He is on the roster. Let's not get carried away. He's on the roster, but by default. Miles Sanders is a guy who has played one preseason game. He's been hurt all camp. In the one preseason game he did play, he did not look well. And the Cowboys gave him the nod. I don't know. There's this trick that everybody's talking about. It's kind of like a stash type move. They put Phil Mafah on IR over a shoulder injury that obviously occurred at some point in the Atlanta Falcons game. Phil Mafah didn't even get to the end of the game till like late in the second half. I think maybe at the beginning of the fourth quarter he started getting reps. It was very a Deuce Vaughn heavy game. And Jayden Blue. So I don't know. I don't know if this was a stash move like everybody else is making it out to be. I'm not 100% sure, but I wish Phil Mafah was on the team over Miles Sanders. I don't think Miles Sanders should have even made the team, but I can only but say so much. So that's another guy for me as well that should be on the main roster right now as we speak. And the last guy we're going to talk about here, CJ Goodwin. For some odd reason, this guy stays on the Dallas Cowboys. I want to say he's going on his 9th year with the Dallas Cowboys. I will never understand it. Let me make sure that I'm 100% correct when it comes to that. This guy just keeps finding a roster spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't ask me. I don't know why. Let's see right here. Yeah, he is going on year 9. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Says 7. He spent his first 3 years with the Atlanta Falcons and the Cardinals. So maybe this is 8. This might be 8 because I think he got traded to Dallas in 2017 or something like that. It's not showing on the ESPN chart, but yes. CJ Goodwin, He is a guy who is the special teams specialist, so to speak, for the Dallas Cowboys. Israel McQuamu should have had his spot on special teams. I'm sorry, CJ Goodwin. He does nothing but special teams. Even that, he's not even special at special teams. No pun intended. I just don't understand. It's another player. CJ Goodwin, Marquez Bell, and Donovan Wilson, particularly Donovan Wilson and Marquez and Donovan Wilson and CJ Goodwin. These two guys have been around for so long. It's like they almost have seniority with the Dallas Cowboys, but yet they never produce. They have not done nothing efficient for the Dallas Cowboys since they've been there. I think, Donovan Wilson had 1 year where he was a Pro Bowl consideration, maybe. And I don't even know what year that was. And I know I probably couldn't look it up now, and it's not going to show me. I think there was probably that one season where he actually had like a Pro Bowl nod almost, and he was considered a fringe Pro Bowler. But outside of that, he just hasn't produced. So that's pretty much all I have to take away from the roster for the most part. The Zion Childress thing for me, let's just hit on that right quick. I don't understand it. Zion Childress was a guy who really bounced off the tape and the game. He was phenomenal all preseason. And when I knew he made the roster, I had him down as a name in my notes. I was like, yes, Zion Childress. He was taking reps with the ones at the slot corner position. And today, Dallas Cowboys take these two, and I posted on Twitter. I was like, these two guys must be pretty good that they got off the waiver wire, because there's no way that Zion Childress got dumped for these two guys. Andrew Booth got dumped for him, obviously so. Andrew Booth made the team by default just because we needed bodies. But I don't understand the Zion Childress move. Even for me, we have 10 O-linemen right now on the roster. We could have used that extra spot for Zion Childress. We could have carried 6 DBs. Right now, we only have 5. In certain formations, in certain, play calls on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to carry maybe 4 DBs, depending on what formation you call. So you're playing with fire, going out there with only 5 DBs. So this is telling me this is a possibility that our defense coordinator, Matt Eberflus, he might be playing a lot of 3-headed monster at the linebacker position. So that might be something that we want to see. We want to see a heavy 4-3. We want to have 4 defensive linemen. We're going to have 3 linebackers. So I think that's probably what Matt Eberflus is going for if he's having this type of formation. But that is all, guys, for the Dallas Cowboys roster, and that is all my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Who should have made it? Who should they kept? I think they should have kept Childress and Mokwamu, and they should have cut Marquez Bell for me. I keep Donovan Wilson, but I think Marquez Bell should have walked. I just don't think he does anything special, but that's just my personal opinion. But I want to know all of your opinions down below in the comments.